Hi, my friends, it's your tour guide to the sci-fi side, me, Preston E. And to quote the late, great Robin Williams from Good Morning Vietnam, it's hot, dang hot, hotter than the daisies. My shorts, I can cook things in a little crotch pot cooking. And it's hot outside, yes, we're at the end of August, but it's also hot in here because I don't have the AC on because it makes a lot of noise, and I want you to be able to hear this handsome voice. But it's also hot because we got Mystery Science Theater Volume 28, a.k.a. Mystery Science Theater, the 25th anniversary. And usually Mystery Science Theater Collections has 4 movies, but this one has not 5, but 6 movies, including My Mitchell, the last episode of Joe Hodson as a regular, and the first episode of Mike J. Nelson as a regular, The Brain That Would Not Die. So, without further ado, I've flapped my gums long enough. Here is MST3K, Volume 25th Anniversary. Hit it! Before the movie, we get the Invention Exchange. Joe and the bots demo drive-by food that teleports directly into your stomach. But Joe, I just need to transfer and teleport the fat out of me instead. Dr. Forrester and Dr. Larry gives us Celebrity Pest toothpaste dispensers. If you can't rub elbows with the stars, at least you can rub their faces onto your teeth. Yeah, I don't know. On to the movie. Boon 02 is a weird techno-colored spacey space adventure set in space. What else? Seeing a freelance space pilot hired by a crooked millionaire to crash a highly valuable asteroid into the lunar surface. Man, these rich people and their money. Buy a baseball team or something useful. Here's a woman who's dressed like a pickle. I bet she's not turtly enough for the Turtle Club. Turtle. Thank God he's not any taller than he is. What a weird freaking movie. The movie is described as a sci-fi western, and Leonard Maltin gives this spacey adventure a 1.5 stars out of 5. This space cowboy gets a 2 out of 5 SOL bones from me, however. Up next is The Day the Earth Froze from Season 4. Before the flick, we get the Invention Exchange as Joe and the bots give us treats based on ninja weapons, like the ninja throwing cookies and the 5 lady fingers of death. If you can't kill your enemies with the throwing stars of doom, kill them with diabetes. Dr. F and Frank gives us unhappy meals with some very unhappy surprises. Yeah, I got one of these once. What kid wants a jump rope or a garden shovel for a Happy Meal toy? I'm still traumatized by that, Ronald. Speaking of traumatizing clowns, before the movie, we get a short called Here Comes the Circus. And no, this isn't about Washington, D.C. This is about actual clowns and face paint. And they all float down here at the Clyde Betty Circus as we get too up close and personal with famous clown Emmett Kelly. Sorry, I'm more of a bozo guy myself. At least he has Archway cookies to give away during his grand prize games. On to the movie. Wow, this truly must be what hell is like. The Day the Earth Froze sees a witch named Luhai who rules over a dismal land. And I'm not talking about Washington, D.C. Burned you again, D.C. Sorry, you're going to get a lot of that. It's an election year. The hateful old witch torments a village of idiots, and the heroes in it, as her trolls and magic carpet, can't help her out as the trolls get knocked unconscious. Guess they watch CNN, and the magic cape is beaten down into an ice hole. And this ice hole witch is also beaten as her targets live happily ever after. This movie will leave you feeling crappily ever after, but it is a whimsy and color-filled crapfest made even more festive by the fact that Joe and the bots give us some butt-chuckling good rips. Butt chuckling, really? I have no idea. And I give it a 3 out of 5 SOL bones. Butt chuckling, where did I get that? Up next is The Leech Woman, straight from Season 8. This movie tells the tale of a woman who witnesses the restoration to youth lost, sacrificing young men. Hey, I found a good reason to be happy about being middle-aged at last. The only real thing of note here is the old woman looks like Irene Ryan, Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies, which prompts Tom Servo to incessantly scream, "Chad!" like Granny Clampett from the Beverly Hillbillies in this episode. And for that reason alone, this episode gets an upgrade from a 2 to a 3 out of 5 SOL bones.
Chad! 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 Big one. Chad! All right. Chad! Chad!
From Season 8, we go to Season 9 with Gorgo. A giant reptile is found and put on display in the UK, while Mama Lizard kicks butt and takes names, turning jolly old England into her own personal playground of destruction when she finds out that her son is on display in the UK. The film was originally slated to be set in Japan, but Japan has suffered enough with all them monster attacks like Godzilla after all. And after bouncing ideas from Paris to Ireland, the movie makers decided England would get the final nod to be destroyed by Gorgo's mad mama. Congrats! Just leave Rowan Atkinson alone, that man's a treasure. Another somewhat fun fact is that Gene Simmons designed his performing boots to match Gorgo's head. Just don't let Gorgo's mama think that's really her son there, Gene, or kiss you goodbye. An even less fun fact is that movie critic Leonard Moulton gave this movie 3 stars. Speaking of old Leo, he is given a guest spot in this episode, which I will generously give a 4 out of 5 SOL bones. Now, normally at this point, I'd rate the collection of MST3K DVDs at this point. Didn't I just say that? I'm starting to sound like Professor Bobo. But this is a huge collection. Lucky us, we got 2 more episodes to go. Up next is one of my all-time personal favorite MST3K episodes from Season 5, Mitchell, My. It's a Joe Don Baker movie. What could go wrong? Plenty, but that's part of the fun. Joe Don stars as Detective Mitchell, who is assigned to spy on a businessman who is a suspect of a drug smuggling operation. Mitchell also has to deal with a citizen who killed a burglar and a prostitute who stole his heart. Being that this is a Joe Don Baker movie, expect plenty of fat jokes. Also, this episode has an uproarious, rollicking song that Joe and the Bots riff in the end credits. This historic episode also gives us the final appearance of Joe Hodson as a regular on MST3K. Oh, I almost forgot. The final Joe and Invention exchange sees Joe showing off his Dactari stool. Meanwhile, the Mads hire a temp by the name of Mike, a regular Joe that they do not like, but I thought his name was Mike. And Mike is there to help them get ready for an audit from the Fraternal Order of Mad Scientists. Joe escapes in an escape pod that Gypsy and Mike discover in a crate marked Hamdingers. Meanwhile, Mike is now trapped and is SOL on the SOL. This episode is a very historic and I'd say top 10 episode in MST3K history. The presence of Joe Don Baker and the riffs are pitch perfect for a hilariously good time. Joe's departure and Mike's arrival as Mike J. Nelson, the temp turned regular, lands this one a rare 5 out of 5 SOL bones.
Nixon. Looks like a middle-aged Chucky. He looks like the wrathful Buddha. He looks like the moon in A Trip to the Moon.
And finally, we have The Brain That Wouldn't Die, also from Season 5. Mike J. Nelson starts his first day on the job as a tortured B-movie watching captive on the satellite of love. Mike's first invention exchange is a gutter umbrella as the Mad show off long-distance balloon poppers for bratty kids. The bots help Mike learn the ropes quickly as the brain that wouldn't die gives us laughter that won't die as a scientist kills his would-be bride-to-be, Jan, in a horrible car accident he caused by his reckless driving like he's some kind of student driver on the way to an urgent call from his lab. Not his dog, but as in laboratory. Scientist Bill Kortner takes his fiance's head from the wreckage and beats cheeks with it like a football to his lab where he performs an experiment to keep her head alive while he goes to find her a body. He should have just kept the body and left the nagging head in the car. Billy Boy combs the local strip joints and beauty contests looking for the perfect body and finally discovers a facially disfigured model who he tricks to his lab in the promise to give her a miracle operation to help fix her face. Come on, dude, come up with something original to get a girl in your home. Meanwhile, Jan is tired of being a centerpiece on a table and uses her mental prowess to set a monster free to destroy Bill and herself while saving the model named Donna. This was a fun movie, and Mike meshes well in his first outing, giving us his special brand of sardonic I hate cheesy movies one-liners as Joe Hodson leaned more on the deadpan I love cheesy movie styles in his riffs. This historic episode comes ahead, rim shot, with a rare 5 out of 5 SOL bones. Now normally I would score these collections on a scale of 0 to 20 on the old SOL bone scale, but since there is 6 movies, it gets all the way up to 30 possible SOL bones. That's a possible 5 for each movie. Okay, dear God, I'm going to have to do math. Somebody play Jeopardy music for me, please. No, wait, don't do that. That might get this thing pulled from YouTube. Mystery Science Theater, Volume 28, a.k.a. MST3K, 25th Anniversary Collection, gets a grand, unheard of total of... That's enough of that. 22 SOL bones out of a possible 30. Well, that about does it for me. Please like, sub, and share. I've been Preston E. Garrison, and I'm Kevin Murphy made that look so easy.